Is the Dominion Malta expansion the last DLC for Jurassic World Evolution 2?
Why not go out with a bang, you know?
Why not?
On December 10, 2019, the Return to Jurassic Park DLC was released for the first Jurassic World Evolution. It brought content into the game that we've wanted since the start. Original Jurassic Park buildings, dinosaur variants, maps, and an aviary. It was the biggest and the best DLC the original game got. It was also the last one. A swan song. Now people are worried that history is going to repeat itself this December, that the Dominion Malta expansion will be the swan song to Jurassic World Evolution 2. Is that true? Is this the end? The two DLCs certainly have a lot in common, not just their release date making them prime Christmas gifts. The Malta DLC is one of the biggest and best DLCs for the sequel, alongside its Biosyn sister DLC, as I like to think of it. It also feels like it finally completes the game, much like Return to Jurassic Park did for the original, by bringing in the last of the Dominion content. Back then, we wanted the iconic Jurassic Park content since the start, and we finally got it. This time around, we wanted the Dominion content from the start, and now we're finally getting the last of it. The similarities are uncanny, and it would certainly serve as the perfect final DLC. So let's talk about that. Hello everyone, thanks for checking out this video. The Malta DLC has just released and it's absolutely brilliant. I've already done a ton of coverage on it on the channel and you can expect awesome creative sandbox builds coming to the channel very soon. So if you're interested in the game, in the DLC, and being inspired for your own builds, subscribe to the channel. Aside from the similarities between Return to Jurassic Park and the Dominion Malta expansion, there's another thing that has people concerned. When you start up Jurassic World Evolution 2, there is some copyright information at the start that you'd be forgiven to look over as you anxiously wait to build your next park. However, it seems to be catching the eye of several people nowadays because of the years mentioned in that copyright information, and I'm getting comments about it. The copyright screen mentions 2021 and 2022. People are worried that these years mean the time frame of support for the game, launching in 2021, getting DLCs throughout 2022, and then nothing. If you go back to the first game, you'll also see that the years mentioned in the copyright disclaimer match the years in which the game was being actively supported, 2018 and 2019. So that certainly lines up and is probably the reason why I've gotten several panicked comments about it. Personally, I don't think this is the nail in the coffin that people seem to think it is. It's just an uncanny coincidence. For example, when I load into Planet Zoo, the copyright information says 2019 to 2022. The game launched in 2019 and it had its most recent DLC a month ago, this year in 2022. So that checks out. But if that means 2022 is also the end of support for Planet Zoo, wouldn't it be very unwise for Frontier to end support for their two biggest cash cow games at the same time? Because that's what Jurassic World Evolution 2 and Planet Zoo are for Frontier, as I'll discuss more in depth later in this video. More importantly though, the load screen for Planet Zoo didn't always say 2019 to 2022. It has been updated. I found an older video of someone playing the game on YouTube who happened to include the loading screen, and here it is. It's in another language, Turkish I believe, but you can see it's for Planet Zoo and it says 2019 to 2020. When a game gets new content that falls outside of the scope of the original copyright, the copyright is updated and the copyright info at the start is also updated accordingly. You can see this everywhere, like the copyright info in the launch trailer for Planet Zoo is different from the copyright info in the trailer for its most recent DLC. Same for the Jurassic World Evolution 2 launch trailer and the Malta DLC trailer. However, just because this copyright screen isn't proof that the Malta DLC is the last DLC, doesn't mean that I don't get the concerns about the end of support for Jurassic World Evolution 2, because of the similarities to Return to Jurassic Park in 2019 as discussed. And that DLC, it was dropped and mum was the word. Frontier never gave confirmation that it was the final one. And by doing that, they left their fan base in pretty much a twilight zone for a very long time until it eventually became obvious, Oh, okay, so this was the last thing. So it's natural that people are fearful about the same thing happening right now. I've spent the entire day trying to find information on the future of Jurassic World Evolution 2, or at least clues from official sources, which included reading through Frontier's annual report from September 2022. Concretely, the report only mentions PDLC coming to Jurassic World Evolution 2 in FY23. That stands for fiscal year 2023. But curb your excitement, because you might think fiscal year 2023 is the same as calendar year 2023, which would confirm new content coming next year. But unfortunately, a fiscal year is very different from a calendar year. A fiscal year goes from the start of July of one year to the end of June the next year. Normally, as far as I and Google are aware. But this financial report from Frontier actually notes May 31st as the end of their fiscal year specifically. So fiscal year 2023 for Frontier is from June 1st, 2022 to May 31st, 2023. That means the PDLC that this report refers to could simply be the Late Cretaceous pack and the brand new Malta DLC, both releasing in the first half of fiscal year 23. There is no guarantee that anything is coming in the second half of the fiscal year, because by releasing the Malta DLC and the Late Cretaceous pack, they have already fulfilled, technically, the PDLC promise for fiscal year 2023 by getting it all out in the first half of that fiscal year. And nowhere in the report is anything announced for Jurassic World Evolution 2 in fiscal year 24, starting summer 2023. And what about this clip from their livestream last week?
Go out with a bang, you know? Why not?
Well, all they said was that they are ending the year with a bang, not the game itself.
We're coming up on the end of the year. Why not go out with a bang, you know? Why not? Yeah.
Now, what that means is that there's no evidence either way. There's no evidence that there is more to come. There's no evidence that the Malta DLC is the last DLC. However, I personally believe that there is more to come. As discussed, fiscal year 23 runs through the first half of 2023 up until the end of May, and thus there's almost 6 months left after the release of the Malta DLC, which isn't just plenty of time for more DLCs to come out in that fiscal year, it also lines up with how long Frontier supported Jurassic World Evolution 1. Jurassic World Evolution 2 getting more DLCs in the first half of 2023 matches with the support that the first version of the game received. That game was supported for a year and a half. If its sequel enjoys the same amount of support, which seems quite logical, it would receive its final update in summer of 2023, which is a prediction I've made before in my video for the anniversary of Jurassic World Evolution 2. Speaking of the first game, it received 7 DLCs in that year and a half time frame of support, and with the Malta DLC, the sequel is now up to 5 DLCs. 2 more DLCs coming in the first half of 2023 perfectly fits with Frontier's regular schedule for releasing updates and DLCs. Not to mention, there is a big Jurassic Park milestone in 2023. In that year, we will be celebrating the 30th anniversary of the first movie, which started this entire franchise. I think we can expect Universal to be celebrating and earning money off this anniversary in several ways. As a massive LEGO fan, I'm already aware of several cool LEGO sets for the anniversary. I think we can also expect a new Mattel toy line, and hopefully the next Jurassic series, or some other project or event that they're gonna do to keep the spirit alive. It would be the perfect time to add something to Jurassic World Evolution 2 as well. I'm not sure what that's gonna look like, perhaps finally novel-based content, who knows, but there's going to be a marketing freight train that Frontier should want to hop onto. And again, Universal, who gets a piece of the pie here, would want that too. I also want to point out that even though Jurassic World Evolution 2 is not performing as successfully as its predecessor, the game is repeatedly mentioned throughout this financial report as being an incredibly successful title for Frontier, with it even being the biggest sales contributor to the entire fiscal year of 22. It is a moneymaker for Frontier, and for that reason, it would make sense to not end support only a year in. Also, this long and boring paragraph does end with them expressing their high level of certainty that Jurassic World Evolution 2 will continue to be a big moneymaker for them in the fiscal year of 24. And just to refresh your memory, fiscal year 24 doesn't start until summer 2023 and runs through until summer 2024. Of course, this does not necessarily mean that there will be DLCs for the game in that fiscal year. They're just expecting the game to continue to sell. But obviously it would have a bigger impact on fiscal year 24 if they don't stop supporting it now. Releasing a couple more DLCs in 2023 would add to that certainty that sales will continue to do well in the next fiscal year. Officially, there is no answer to the question, will the Malta DLC be the last one? But there was a leak a while ago when the Camp Cretaceous DLC released. With the release of that DLC, Frontier accidentally uploaded the dev branch version of the game onto Steam, and this allowed people to have a peek into the inner workings of the game and unearth evidence that Jurassic World Evolution 2 would receive 8 DLCs in total. Leaks aren't always reliable, and it's very hard to judge when they are and are not to be trusted, but moreover, even if the information is correct at the time, things change. Even the best laid plans can be changed. Even so, I wanted to include it in this video for your consideration. To me, 8 DLCs certainly sounds a lot more logical than only 5 DLCs. And 3 DLCs over the course of next year could mean a DLC in March, a DLC in June, and a DLC in September, the final one to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park. With the release of the Malta DLC, we start a long vigil until we get official confirmation about the future of the game. As we all know, Frontier likes to keep these things a secret. I am hopeful that Frontier will release another financial report in January, just as they did this past January, which will let us know what their future plans are for the game, at least in the first 6 months of 2023. However, until we get any sort of official news, there is no guarantee that this isn't the end, even though I don't believe it to be. I have been scarily right about some things in the past. I mean, I pretty much nailed my prediction for the Malta DLC, including the exact release date. But I've also been dead wrong several times. There's only so much you can predict based on patterns, because Frontier has shown us with the free zipline attraction, something they've never done before for either of the 2 Evolution titles, that they can break from pattern and completely surprise us. I just hope I'm right, I hope the leaks from March are right, and I hope that we still have more content coming to Jurassic World Evolution 2 in the next year. One thing is for sure, I will still be making content on the game, doing creative park builds, playing through the Malta campaign, and of course bringing you the news if anything is confirmed officially. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, just stop worrying and enjoy the game.